Hello YouTube. I just got back from my sort of real job back to the homestead. So I unloaded the tools from the truck and stuck them down here by the sawmill. And I have just put a digital readout for the blade height above the bed, or in general. Now, these things don't like rainwater very much, and this thing just sits outside. I don't park it in the shed or anything. It's not really mobile. So what I did is I mounted the whole thing with magnets. This part here is the movable part that goes up and down, right? And this guy here is the measuring strip of the DRO. And it just sits with strong neodymium magnets here on the mill, right? And the measuring part that slides up and down is this guy, which I've screwed to a aluminum angle, and this aluminum angle has got another neodymium magnet screwed to it, which in turn holds onto this fellow here. So cable comes from there to the readout, which is here, right? I used to use my scale like everybody else here. This guy with a wire that I welded across that hole, which shows me where I am in relation to the base of the bed. But I found this thing. It's hilarious. So you can zero it, right? And do either millimeter or inches or whatever. So and when I move the head of the mill up, 2.175 inches. There, 2 inches and 6 thousandths. Near enough, 2 inch, right? And if you want to cut another board, all you do is you work out your board thickness, or see what you want, zero this sucker, and then you let it down an inch, inch and a half, or whatever, doesn't matter. And to see where you are really in relation is there on that measuring strip. Yeah, so you can't get yourself confuddled, because this thing just measures whatever. You can zero it in the morning and then work up of real time or real measurements, or you can just carry on zeroing it and then just work to your board thickness, which is what I probably end up doing, because I'm simple like that, right? And I've added a couple extra shivs. Now the winch that lifts the head up and down is from an ATV. It's a 2,500 pound winch. It lives up there, yeah, and 2 cables go to either side. But the winch will lift this head easily enough. It's really no work for it. Problem is, it's way too fast. So you really have a job getting a decent measurement out of the whole thing. Yeah. So I added 2 shivs here at the bottom, 2 shivs at the top, which gives me, like, I don't know, 7,500 pounds instead of 2,500, which is not what I need. But it slows the thing down a lot. So now I can, as you just saw, I can get to within a few thou if I want to with my blade, and then when I'm done in the evening, when I'm done milling, all I've got to do is just grab that thing, because it's all just held on with magnets, same as the display here. It's got a couple of magnets that are glued on the back there, one left, one right. Stick it on there and you're good to go. These things are cheap. Yeah, the one that I got is like 33 inches or 34 inches or something, 1 meter, yeah. And it was like, I don't know, $100 or something like that, with everything, with the brackets and stuff, minus the magnets. You have to get them yourself. To me, that's definitely worth it. It just makes life so much easier. Instead of peering at that scale there all the time and whatnot, you can have real, I think it makes for way more accurate cutting. But That's just me. But if I had I don't know, a wood miser or something like that, an LT15, a cheap one, or Woodland Mills or something like that, I would figure out how to get one of these guys on there and not fart around with the crank handle and things, and just look at real numbers, which is just way more accurate. I just put a new carburetor on this thing after having stripped down the other one like 6 times and never got it running quite right. So now I'm running it with a little bit higher idle, but it's doing fine. So I've got to put the air filter back on and all those gubbins. But yeah, I just wanted to show you the high-tech part on my mill. The rest is just fabric cobbled together with ratchet straps and stuff, but it ended up being just proof of concept to begin with, and then I just left it as it is. So like my first design that I had for the movable roller here, that was a bit on the floppy side. This is way more stable with 4 ball bearings with a groove cut into them, running on a square piece of high thick-walled square tubing on the edges of it. So there's no play in this at all. Yeah, that is, and it runs back and forth with relative ease. Every now and again you have to clean this up because it gums up with sawdust. So once a week or so, if you're doing a lot of milling, then you have to go over that. I just spray it down with brake clean and done. It's easy. You can use a wire brush or whatever. Or I didn't paint it, I left it in steel. So a little bit of rust may have something to do with it. And then to get a bit more wrap around my shield here on the engine, I chucked up a chunk of aluminum, put 2 ball bearings in it on a bolt, and that is my tensioner for the belt now. But the rest is, yeah, this is the way it was before I started modifying stuff. But it works well enough. I was just, the other day I was just cutting some stickers. These are the leftover bottom bits. I've got some weighing on it and just going to leave them as is. Throw them on the bottom bits. They're a bit thicker than the forks, so that'll do me. Cut them into 40-inch long bits and done. So yeah, put some pallets down there just when it gets muddy and things, so I can walk on them instead of on the mud, because you walk a groove into that grass pretty quick pushing this thing back and forth, that's for sure. So yeah, that's where we're at. Got to fill up the water tank, put some soap in there, and tomorrow, if we don't end up with another hurricane or some such nonsense, I'll be back on here cutting lumber. There's a bunch of poplar I just want to cut that stuff up into stickers. And the one underneath there, that's a hickory. And then I've got some others that have fallen over in the storm. That's the hickory as well, those guys. That's just firewood there. And then I've got my big log pile back over there. That's mostly oak. A couple of bits of poplar and some black walnut in there as well. So I've got to work that lot down. But for now, this is it. I'm going to have some... Oh, it's 1 o'clock. I was going to say I'm going to have some brunch, but it's going to be lunch, I guess. And then get this thing ready for tomorrow, set my pallets up properly and all that sort of stuff, and put some more pallets down there where I can put the finished boards, and get rid of that pile there, hopefully today sometime, and split it. And we've had cold temperatures, so I've been digging into my firewood pile. We've been running the stove back to heating times. It was 38 degrees last night, 44 this morning, so I lit the stove. And up at Lingman's Dome, they had the first snow of the year, not too far from here, about an hour's drive. So yeah, it's fall is here for sure. So you take care, be safe, and have a good one. And I'll see you on the next one. I'll probably do a video tomorrow, milling stickers or something. We'll be milling something. maybe getting those saw blades blunt that I sharpened the other day. So have a good one for now. Take care. Bye.